Welcome to Softcore History.
What is up? Welcome back to Softcore History. I am your host, Rob Fox. Thank you for joining us live. If you're on the YouTube, please subscribe to that and like this video first if you're watching already. Subscribe to it if you're not subscribed. Are we on the History channel?
We're on right now. We're streaming from the Softcore History channel.
Okay, so probably.
But the actual version, like, I'll edit it and everything. And
Cool.
It'll be on the History channel as well.
Well, I'm joined as always by that voice you hear, Dan Regester, our producer and co-host.
So in case, we say anything that would get us canceled, I can cut that out.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Our legitimate History channel at Drinking Bros. So
Yeah, well, I screamed all my anti-trans stuff into a pillow before we went on air.
got it out of the way.
Yeah. I don't even hate them. I just have to scream something hateful.
No, I get that.
Just to get it out, you know what I mean? So, just something horrifying. I have to scream it at a cloud, scream it into the void, and then I'm good,
Half the time he just screams it at me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. No, I take the brunt of it.
And that's Jake Goldman that you hear.
Yeah, Rob doesn't actually scream hateful things at me that I know of. I don't know.
Just the pillow I wrote Jake on.
That's why I always feel sad in the morning. Just doing really shitty white guy voodoo. Just
Just
Jake
the
on a
worst
pillow. Yeah.
fucking, what do you call it? Voodoo doll?
Yeah, it's a voodoo doll.
Just the worst voodoo doll. This is a pillow I scrawled Jake on with a Sharpie.
Is that because I'm like now kind of more white and square now that I've put on some quarantine weight? It's like, oh, that looks like Jake, that pillow right there. Just write his name on it.
Yeah.
Bulking?
Yeah,
right
just
now?
bulking.
Just bulking.
Like not like clean bulking.
Soft mass.
Yeah, just getting.
There's no such thing as a clean bulk. We've gone over this.
I know.
Go back and run through those episodes of Substog if you want. If they're still
if you
available.
can find them.
Find those.
If you can find them, let us know.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, you're fine, dude. You're getting that marble, just a giant block of marble.
That's right. And then I
Yeah.
carve it.
Chisel away, yeah.
You carve it.
That's
It'll
what
be
you
fun.
do.
Man, I need more Substock talk. Just like going to
We can hijack this if you want.
Just
No.
make it all about fitness.
Yeah,
Well,
I surprise people with how I look. Apparently,
what does that mean?
I don't know. I did the Jack sesh.
yeah.
And I just took off my shirt, and everybody was like surprised.
Dan's like, whoa, a bunch of guys thought I was jacked.
That's
like,
the
aren't
only
I
reason.
cool?
That's the only reason you work out.
Yeah.
It's the only-
So
it's-
dudes think you're hot.
You
Yeah.
only work out for guys.
Yes.
Everyone knows that.
No girl at a gym's coming up like, wow, you're real jacked.
Yeah.
It's a dude that's like, whoa, bro, looking tight.
Nobody cares. Like, no girl cares how much you bench. No girl cares how much you squat, deadlift.
No.
It's all for dudes.
Yeah. I don't think that has ever once been an impediment for me sexually.
No,
much you can
but
bench press?
Yeah.
It is pretty cool, though, when you just have randos come up to you at the gym and be like, yo, dude, great form.
Does that sound cool?
That's
I'd be like, get away from me.
That is the greatest compliment you
No,
can
it
give at the
is.
gym.
Like,
Great
it's
form.
like, dude, damn, dude, you
Yeah, bro.
I didn't
Is it like
expect
CrossFit where everyone's like,
kind-
get it, man?
I don't know, man. I think the country would be much better if the world ran, or the country, the world, it doesn't matter. If everything ran like a gym, everybody's so supportive.
No, that's fair.
Everybody
Yeah.
just wants
can't
everybody to get
disagree with
hot
that.
and jacked.
Yeah, and then everyone showers together
Yeah.
at
Yes.
the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially that last part.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
What is it? The whole world needs a Coke. The whole world needs to share a shower. To share a Coke. The whole world needs to
Oh,
share a
yeah.
shower.
I wish the world would share a... God,
Yeah, I wish
that
the
was
world would
bad.
share a shower.
That was
Yeah.
actually the slogan, I'm not even kidding, of a apartment complex at UCF. Save water, shower with a friend. And they just give out those tank tops. They're like, join Sterling Central. I don't know what it's like a green community or something.
I can't.
All it meant was it was built out of like construction paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it's better for an apartment, or especially a student apartment, like or a dorm in particular, to have everyone banging in the showers.
No, man, you don't get it. You make more tenants that way.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have a
you're just,
baby in there.
you're just making more...
Do you
yeah.
charge extra for the baby?
Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah, definitely.
Any good apartment
Half rent.
complex charges extra for a baby.
Pet deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about people who couldn't shower. I don't know how to segue this, but we're just going to get
Okay.
into it. So one of the things that I fucking hate about the last 4.5, 5 years is that there's like this cottage meme industry of everyone being like, that's so 2017. Like, cut it out, 2017. Like, 2018 was the worst year.
Yeah, it's just BuzzFeed putting it into the sausage grinder. Like anything that happens that year, you just got to throw it into the BuzzFeed sausage grinder.
And then they're like, ugh, this is so 2019. Like, couldn't get any worse than 2016.
This is all of us.
This
in
is
2020.
Well, they've been doing that for like 4 or 5 years. Not just BuzzFeed.
They've been doing
like
it
everyone.
since like
They started.
yeah,
Well,
like
really
2015.
it really started ramping up.
Remember when BuzzFeed had like a legitimate news operation that was
Good?
No, it was good, but it was also like hidden on the website.
They did have
Yeah.
like there was like a 2-year span where BuzzFeed had a lot of like journalistic
But
randomly.
like you couldn't find it because
Yeah.
like the whole website, the whole
nobody
front
wants to
page,
read that shit.
the whole front page was just covered with like 21 potatoes that looked like Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Didn't they break some like huge story? They broke like a couple.
They
big
broke
pieces.
like one thing or 2 things, but they just hired people who were renowned within the industry to some level. Like they really put an effort forward, but since BuzzFeed loses money every year, like loses like
Every time they lay off somebody or like a giant group of their workforce in
it's
December,
literally like
I always quote tweet it with like 21 reasons why you shouldn't show up to work on Monday.
good.
That's great.
But like if you go to work at BuzzFeed, you got to know that you could get laid off at any moment.
Oh yeah. If you work for any internet company, you should
Yes.
realize you can be laid off at any moment.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes, your job is
I've been laid off
not
by the same
secure.
company twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laid me
Grand-
off once. Shame on you.
Man, Grandex tries to hire me again, I swear.
You should do it.
Yeah, why not? Just go back. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then 2020 comes along, and people, I guess, have a legitimate argument at least that this year
No,
is
2020, I killed 2020. 2020 is great. I crushed 2020. I don't care about your struggle, the pandemic, everything. That's all. That sucks, but like it was a good year for me. 2019 was awful. So yeah, 2020
I
was
would
great.
agree with you. Your 2019 was way worse than your 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours was.
Yeah. Everyone else's.
Everything.
I got my 2020 out of the way.
in 20,
Yeah.
I was early.
in 2019.
You paid pre-tax on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only look up from the
Which, by the
gutter.
way, I do not want to think about my taxes this year. It's gonna suck.
You should really take a look at those.
This year or in
2020's taxes.
2020's taxes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, mine should be fine. 2021's are gonna be a nightmare.
Mine sucked this year.
Yeah. This one's gonna suck too. But yeah, last year sucked. We
Yeah,
had like
suck it, nerds. My 2020 rocked.
All right. Anyway, other than Dan, who fades everything. Yeah, so everyone's like, 2020 is the worst fucking year ever. There's a pandemic. I get it. People lost their jobs. Businesses closed. You know, like, part of me wants to be like, suck it up, like Dan, like, fuck you, it wasn't that bad. But I mean, I also don't want to be like, oh, I'm sorry. Did your dreams die?
Yeah.
Did your restaurant close and your dreams aren't a thing anymore and
Or
you're
like-
financially unstable
Yeah.
now?
I mean, there's a
I don't want to be like that.
good chunk of people that probably lost their business and significant family members this year. Or this past year,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
100%. Not an easy year, especially for the baby dick cupcake life, baby dick soft cupcake life we live now,
Oh, yes.
right?
That's the only life I live.
Yeah.
Like,
Nerf football life.
it's like one thing to be like, you don't know how bad we had. It's like, that's exactly, I don't. So
Right.
I can complain because my baseline is dog shit easy.
Yes.
Like,
But let's have some perspective.
sure.
Is 2020 really the worst year ever? No, wouldn't even put it in the top 20 of the last 100 years. But it doesn't even come close to what historians actually believe is the worst year ever.
What year is that?
That year, and I know a lot of people are going to roll their eyes, but shut the fuck up. That year is 536 AD, right? And they're like,
Is that Nate Silver's website?
the 538.
No.
Yeah. 536 Anno Domini. I don't use, what is it, BCE and
Before
what?
the Common Era, after the Common
And
Era?
ACE? Yeah, I don't use ACE. I'm a fucking
Or
Christian.
of the Common Era, yeah.
Yeah, it's BCE and CE.
CE,
yeah,
yeah.
Common Era. I am a good Catholic, and I use the Latin one, Anno Domini, and before Christ.
Right. There is no after death. That was always confusing for me as a young Jewish kid. It's like, well, what did you call the 30
For you,
whatever
there's
years?
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, for you, there's not.
Yeah.
You
No.
die. We live forever.
No, but I'm saying like it was confusing because it was before Christ, and then everyone would say 80 was after death. It's like, so what was the 30 some odd years in the middle there? Where'd those years go?
Well, when Christ was born, you're just kind of fudging it. Yeah, I guess you could start. You really should start it at 30 or 33 AD, whenever he died.
Well, then
Dude,
he-
I'm older than Jesus.
Well, he rose. So
Yeah, he did rise, and now his body lives forever. But
he ascended into the heavens.
Yeah,
so he really never died.
I'm older than Jesus when Jesus was crucified. Fun fact.
You are an old fuck.
He was a young, supple man.
He was not
still in his prime.
He wasn't supple.
He was jacked.
He was jacked on that.
Yeah,
cross.
Jesus was jacked.
It wasn't really jacked.
He was
It's
emaciated.
like a swimmer's body.
Yeah.
No, it was like a swim.
it
I think it was
wasn't
like a swimmer's body.
body.
I think he was lithe. Anyway, Anno Domini.
Like
that's
a
what we
power
go with
walker
here.
Body.
536 AD.
No, we're going the next 30 minutes where we just talk about men's bodies.
Well, we're gonna
Types.
men's body's gonna come up all the time in every show we do.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
We just always drift back into men's bodies.
Right.
Yeah. But let's give it a break. Okay. Let's give like 10 minutes without male body talk.
Okay.
And then we'll get back into it. So we'll pop back into it.
As long as you promise we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be sure to squeeze some in there.
I'll sit the next 10 minutes out then.
Yeah.
But so the general situation that was going on in 536 AD, right? The Western Roman Empire had fallen about 70 years prior. So that's really just the distance between World War II and the 2010s.
Sure. Yeah.
So not that long. More than enough for there to be serious political effects from it still.
Did they have their own version where they turned everything into Hitler? Like they had the Godwin rule?
Like
Godwin's Law?
Yeah.
I would assume back then quite a few things were compared to Caesar and Alexander on a very regular basis. And actually, though, if you wanted to go Hitler, because Caesar and Alexander and like Hercules, who was not real, would be celebrated, the Hitler types would probably be Hannibal and Xerxes.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. That checks out.
Hannibal was actually, they would talk about that. Hannibal's coming. Like Romans would tell that to their children. Like Hannibal's coming for you.
Oh, like a boogeyman?
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought
So
Can you
I'm
imagine? Can you imagine?
I am gonna tell my kid. I'm gonna be like, hey,
Hitler's
eat your
coming.
peas or Hitler's coming. All right,
thought-
eat your fucking vegetables or Hitler will get you.
thought you were going a completely different route with that.
Where do you think I was going?
Where
with
do you think I was going with that?
it? Men's bodies?
Hannibal coming.
What?
The guy coming, dude.
What? Hannibal like ejaculating?
Yes.
So it is about guys' bodies.
It's always.
Always
I'm sorry, I didn't make it 10 minutes.
put it back in there. Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, guys.
But yeah, so the Western Roman Empire had fallen. The Eastern Roman Empire, though, we call it the Byzantines. They only ever called themselves really the Eastern Roman Empire. They were pretty much at the height of their power.
Okay.
They had reconquered most of what is the Western Empire.
So wait. So they was
The Western Empire had fallen, and in this time frame, they had pretty much reconquered all of Italy
okay
over the
Gotcha.
course of these years, specifically in North Africa.
Well, who would I guess the Western Empire in Italy fall into?
The Goths, mostly. They kind of
What? Goths?
yeah, Goth kids.
Bunch of kids listening to like Cult.
I think it was
and
like
The
the
Cure?
Visigoths, I believe, but it was a bunch of barbarians, and it really just kind of it didn't really fall. It just sort of like stopped being, if that
That's-
makes sense.
That makes a lot more sense for Goths.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
can you imagine?
They just got over it.
Yeah.
They're so over it.
Yeah.
Like there was still,
like a hot topic.
In 536, people were still calling themselves Romans, still speaking Latin.
Yeah.
all this stuff. The empire was just not a politically there anymore. The culture hadn't dissipated so much,
Right.
but it had started to merge with barbarian cultures, the Goths, the Vandals, all these people.
We were barbarian before it was cool.
I mean, can you imagine if like
That's emo.
yeah,
Goths are never.
that's
cool.
hipster too.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if like you showed the Goths that retook the Western Roman Empire what Goths are now?
Yeah, they wouldn't be into it. They'd kill those pussies.
I think they would hate it.
Yeah.
They would love the music.
And they might love the
Just
music.
a bunch of bass heads.
Goth
They-
music. Yeah.
Little
Not
electro
the
bass
whiny.
heads.
These are not whiny men. These are
You
not
can
whiny.
kill
These are not
people
whiny
to some,
people.
hardcore DM.
These are not.
you know?
These are not whiny people. Even the women are hard as fuck because they're basically like nomadic. They did settle down. They basically like the Romans for the last like 200 years. Essentially, this is why a lot of the Western Roman Empire fell. They couldn't beat the barbarians, so they just kept buying them off with land. Even
So they eventually accumulated a bunch of land.
yes,
Oh, that's not a good move.
yeah. And like we're talking like big palatial rural estates, plantation type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like let them go run around on a farm.
Yeah. Well, then once the Western Roman Empire fell, the farms, estates became more important than the cities. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of a whole thing. But so this world, you've got one superpower trying to regain its glory, while barbarians are fighting them and everyone else and each other. The Western Empire has fallen, so there's wars big and small everywhere going on all over Western Europe. Okay, in China, you've got two empires fighting each other. I forget their names, and just in general, it's a violent time. And the Persians and the Eastern Roman Empire fighting each other too. So already you have wars going on all over the Mediterranean, all over Western Europe, conflicts going on big and small, all this fun shit.
Yeah.
And then, for whatever reason, well, we do know what reason, and I'll get to it. In 536 AD, all of Europe, China, and the Middle East, most of the world kind of in that range, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Were covered by a dense fog that blocked most sunlight
Oh, wait a minute.
for 18 months.
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay. I think I know what's happening already because I think I've read about this in a weird, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to spoil the fun, but I'm excited to hear. They have a reason for this now, right?
They do know, yeah.
Yeah. But like, there's just time in like history where they're just like, yeah, then the darkness came.
Yes, then the fucking darkness came.
Which it's goth as fuck.
That is goth as fuck.
Yeah.
That is goth as fuck. So maybe that's where the goth thing connected.
Yeah,
Because
there you
everyone had to be super pale. The Byzantine historian, that's Eastern Roman Empire historian, Procopius, I believe, said, for the sun gave forth its light without brightness like the moon during the whole year.
That's crazy. So like when it's a really overcast day and you can kind of see just like that little pale dot
Yeah.
in the sky.
It was like badly overcast for 18 months.
Yeah, that's awful. At least during COVID, like if it was sunny, I could hang out in my backyard, get some vitamin D.
Yes, you can go outside and you could still eat.
I could see the blueness of the sky.
Yeah, all that fun stuff. So he also called it a dread portent, which sounds not great.
No, there's the word dread in it.
So yeah, these people basically lived in like, imagine what you think of when you think of like Portland or Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah, just like the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
MLS soccer. That's what I think.
More the sky during the MLS soccer game.
Yeah.
I gotta fix that.
And this went on for a year and a half. A year and a half
That's insane.
without sunlight.
So that's during more than one harvest, I imagine?
2 to 3. I don't remember. I didn't see when it started and ended, but yeah, that'd be 2 or 3 harvests.
Jeez. So I gotta imagine famines on the table. Well,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fog was one of a number of bizarre weather conditions or situations or whatever, all of which were caused by a massive volcano.
yeah. It's a volcano eruption,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
That erupted in either Iceland or North America.
It's got to be Iceland.
They're not sure. They really don't know.
It's probably Iceland. Like
They
do
don't.
you remember? Okay.
They don't have, and they also think it might be more than one. Like it might be. So one might be Iceland, because another one exploded, like fucking 4 years later, that helped keep this going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So the Earth was just firing off rounds.
That'll do it. I mean, Iceland just had a volcano eruption, like last week? It's not like a super bad one or anything, but
Yeah.
and the Icelandic eruption before that, I think grounded like every plane in Europe for a hot minute.
I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Iceland and volcanoes, they fuck shit up.
No, yeah, Icelandic volcano is not good. Temperatures across the world dropped up to 3 degrees Celsius.
Whoa, that's a lot.
That's a shit ton.
That's a fuck ton of degrees Celsius.
Yeah. It snowed in China in August,
What?
which
I mean,
destroyed their harvest that year, like pushed it back. An acidic dust veil encompassed much of the world.
so it was hard to breathe.
I guess it was hard, at least for the plants to breathe.
Yeah.
Probably a lot. Honestly, I don't know. They could probably really like check corpses if they wanted to from the time to see if they had like some weird cancers from the extra like acid dust being in the air or whatever.
Yeah.
It was the coldest decade in more than 2,000 years, over 2,000 years, completely like famine everywhere. Ireland said there was a failure of bread for multiple years. Chinese crops fucked. Pretty much all of Europe fucked. You'll like this, Dan. This is how bad this event was. This is what Ragnarok was. Mm-hmm. This was Ragnarok. That's where the myth came from. The Vikings thought that this was the early Scandinavian people thought that this was the end of the world.
Okay.
What was Ragnarok again? Just the end of the world?
It's a Thor movie.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, what's the concept? It's just
It's
like
a third Thor movie. He finds the Incredible Hulk in space.
Yes. It's the best Thor movie. It's a top 5 Marvel movie, actually.
I'll have to check it out once I start my
That's a
19-day
what's his
straight
name too?
Marvel thing.
Takeki Watsu,
yeah.
the New Zealand guy
He's good.
who did Jojo
director.
Rabbit.
Oh,
Hitler
yeah.
and Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. I liked JoJo a lot.
I like anyone who could pull off playing Hitler.
I like that he did it. He's like, okay, this is my movie.
Yeah,
I guess
fuck
I'm
you.
going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, because no one wanted to do it, from what I heard.
He's got balls, man. He can do what he wants.
He
And
did it
he's-
great.
He's one of the best superheroes in Marvel.
The Korg, the rock guy. Yeah. Yeah, Korg's good. But yeah, this was Ragnarok. They eventually named it after your boy, Ragnar. But this is where this is what they thought Ragnarok actually was. This is where it all came from. And the Vikings
From
in
a
particular.
volcano in Iceland.
Yeah, the Vikings or Scandinavians. This is kind of pre-Viking, I guess you could say. They were so desperate to get the weather to change. Like, I don't know how they saw this in the archaeological fucking record or whatever, but eventually they just started like dumping their gold in the ocean or something to try to get the gods to stop.
Oh, man.
And they were just like, yeah, after this, the Vikings had way less gold because they were just like, please fucking stop. They're like dumping it into a fire.
They're paying
in the ocean.
bounties.
Yes, they're trying to pay the gods off to get the fog to go away.
You could do that to the Vikings. We covered this with the Ragnar episode if you want to go back and listen to that. But you could literally pay off these guys to just fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they thought same thing with Odin, same thing with Thor.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
thought
it's
they
like,
could
well,
pay off Thor and Odin and everybody.
We're like, we love war gods, and we get paid off all the time. So, ipso facto, dump gold in the ocean.
yes.
I love that move.
Just give it to. Did they have a Poseidon? Did they have a sea?
I don't know.
sea
Dan would
god?
know actually more than I would.
Thor is thunder, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Odin's just OG. He's like God.
Yeah, Odin's like Zeus.
Yeah, they have.
Loki's
sure they
the
have it.
trickster god.
Oh, yeah, but he's also he built boats and shit. So like, I
Maybe.
think
Maybe
he
Loki,
might
maybe.
be the ocean guy.
It would be a trickster that would put fog over you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to wonder, too, in other places, like, how long until a civilized society starts doing real pagan shit to try and get the weather to change? So, obviously, they're not super civilized yet,
Yeah.
but, like, you
Well,
got to think someone's like, hey, can we just throw a virgin in this volcano?
Right.
Maybe it'll go away.
Yeah. Like I saw a thing explode on that island. I think if we throw 3 chicks who haven't been doing it with anyone in that fucking hole, the fire hole, I don't know. It feels like it might work.
It
See,
could.
I don't think Vikings get off on virgins. I think they're like us kind of now, and they're like, yeah, not experienced enough.
I'm not saying Vikings. I'm just saying, like, at some point, someone's got to be like, we got to throw something in
Right,
that
but I'm thinking
volcano.
that's the one culture that's down with girls getting freaky.
Oh, for sure.
Was Viking
In
culture.
Europe, at least, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes, they are definitely the ones that are like, look, you're no good to me. Figure it out. Figure
Yeah.
out how to use this. All right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty Viking.
They probably like fuck. You know, like fuck fight.
Well, they would fight too.
They
Yeah.
did in
The
the
women,
they
women were part of the. They would fight in combat. and shit.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that. I'm just saying like the intimacy back then for that culture was probably very violent as well.
Yeah, everything
Probably a
was
lot of
violent.
struggle.
The
Yeah.
whole world was
They're
violent.
fucking yeah. The whole this is kind of the point. The whole world's violent. So by the way, all of this starts. The wars don't stop.
Oh yeah, no.
They're still reconquering. Like the Eastern Roman Empire is still reconquering Italy and fighting in North Africa and all that shit. I gotta relook up the Chinese thing, but it was the two Chinese empires were fighting against each other. The one other thing, by the way, it also, so Ireland was fucked, the Vikings were fucked. Also caused the ruin of an ancient Aztec city. It's not Tenochtitlan, but it was pronounced.
How do you pronounce that?
Tenochtitlan.
Is that how it's pronounced?
I don't know.
I've had that in so many like standardized test questions.
But it was basically like a precursor to that city. It was in the same area. It's like it was like around Mexico City.
Shit, so they were having that kind of weather there too?
Oh, the whole fucking world.
Just the entire world.
The whole
was
fucking
foggy.
world. Yeah. Completely destroyed a huge ancient Mexican city.
Yeah, I would have
essentially.
I wouldn't have made it, guys.
I think this is Dan's time to shine.
Oh no, Dan would have crushed. I think Dan would have absolutely killed it.
How do you think you'd do in this world? Barbarians everywhere. All the pussies from Rome getting murked. Although the Eastern Roman Empire is actually fucking the barbarians up, but not that far north. Like they don't really get out north of Italy, so like France and Germany and all that stuff, that's barbarian land.
Yeah, but I'm like the biggest pussy of the tough guys, right? Like I would get murked too.
So where you fall on toughness scale is tough enough to kill a baboon with your bare hands.
Right.
But not tough enough to survive.
Hang with a barbarian.
Just to hang with a
Probably
barbarian.
not, no.
Wow.
Dude, I feel like you would have an advantage. Like,
Because the adrenaline's going to pop in when I'm fighting this baboon, right?
it wouldn't for the barbarian?
For the barbarian, it's just, that's my life now. I can't constantly be full of adrenaline.
I don't
my
know.
entire life.
I
So
don't
you're
know.
saying someone's gonna catch you? So maybe you could.
Eventually I'm gonna get got.
Maybe you could take like barbarian number 1.
But like barbarian 4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's just, if that's my life, if my life is fighting now, I
Fair
don't
enough.
care. I don't care about enough. I don't care about anything enough to like really fight.
Not even your life.
Just my life.
That's it.
Self-preservation.
Like you wouldn't be like, get off my estate and my fucking slaves. Like this is my land.
no.
No, because that's what they did. They were given land and slaves by the Romans to just please stop taking all our shit.
Yeah.
If we give you some shit, will you not take all this shit?
I would just off myself anyway because life then sucked.
This is the worst year to be alive.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like,
Well, that, but
18
like,
months is over.
Everyone
sounds like a dude
smells.
for me. Yeah.
Everyone's ugly. I don't know. What are you fighting for, man?
They don't know that. They don't know that they're ugly, and they don't think everyone. Like the Romans think the barbarians, they think the Visigoths smell, but they don't think each other smell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just get used to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure you get
Desensitized.
used to it. Yeah. I mean, if that's the standard, like, yeah, you would be holding those people to like a current beauty standard,
Yeah.
which fuck your beauty standards, man. Like, just making these barbarians feel insecure. You might get them all to kill themselves. Just make them be like, oh man, you're all ugly.
I've also never claimed to be tough. Why do you're always like?
You said you could kill
a
baboons.
baboon.
Because a baboon's not that tough.
Oh my god.
So that's all right. Okay, you see where we got this line of logic, though.
Would I rather fight a baboon or like Tim Kennedy? I would rather fight a baboon.
Well, to be fair, these barbarians are probably like 5'3".
Well, the Vikings aren't.
We're not talking Vikings. We're talking like Visigoth Vandals.
Yeah.
All right, if I have the reach advantage on them
Yeah,
and the weight,
and the height.
I'm like 6
Well,
foot. Yeah, I said height.
I mean,
Yeah.
like Anglo-Saxons at this point, or like Saxons and
Yeah.
Flemish people.
Yeah, I'm
whatever.
6 foot, 195.
You would be big.
You would
compared
be
to,
you would
like,
be
Central
very
European
fucking
people.
big in that time period.
Fuck it.
Now, how are we?
I
2
could
weeks
last
ago-
a decent amount.
2 weeks ago, we're like, you obviously can't kill a baboon, and now we're like, you could kill barbarians.
You could. We're buying the baboon thing. We're buying baboons and Dan being able to kill them. Now we're on to bigger and better. We're talking about taking
The
human life.
barbarians, if they're only 5'3", and it's like fighting a toddler.
They're malnourished too. It's
Yeah.
not like they're eating like kings.
Sometimes they are. After they sack a city, they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really feast or famine with them.
It probably makes
Like
them better
literally,
killing.
yeah.
I guess it's just that like hypothetical that is always asked, like how many like
Toddlers or whatever.
zombie toddlers could you take?
Yeah. Well, zombie toddlers,
you're
not that
over.
many.
Yeah. Normal toddlers.
Yeah, normal toddlers who fear and that type of thing. Yeah. But if you're talking like toddlers on PCP or just like, you know that scene in Resident Evil Apocalypse, since we like to reference random ass movies, where that chick gets ate at the school?
I've not
The
seen
reporter.
This.
You ever seen Resident Evil?
No.
But
I'm
this
gonna
this
get it.
brings in a whole other aspect too, where like I have to be good at like survival skills. Every time I
Well,
went
and swordplay.
every time I went hunting, I didn't see jack shit, so I never killed anything.
Okay.
I would wake up at 5 in the morning, and on a cold December morning with my dad, we'd go to our fucking tree stand and just sit there for 5 hours waiting for a deer that never showed up.
Crush some beer.
No, it was like 12. So like from 12 to 16, I would do this every December, and I never saw a fucking deer. So I have no experience killing deer. I suck at fishing. Like, I can never get the fish off the hook, really. I can barely get a fish on the hook. I can't fish. Yeah, my dad's very disappointed in the man I became. Can't fix.
You're not taking down a deer with a bow and arrow then.
I can't fix any. Like, I suck with cars. I don't really know anything about cars. There obviously wouldn't come into play here, but there's some skills that probably translate from being a car guy to being like a
just having like
just mechanical things.
Yeah, like and hand dexterity to hold tools right.
golf hasn't been invented yet. I guess I'd be an athlete, but like, don't athletes get murked? Like, if you win, don't most societies like sacrifice you to gods?
So I would have to check on this, but I know eventually in the Eastern Roman Empire, I don't know if it had taken a hold yet. Maybe it had, because the Romans did it too, but the Eastern Roman Empire was way more into chariot racing. They didn't do gladiators.
Okay, well, I'm stronger than most. I hate horses. I got thrown off a horse when I was 11.
That explains so much.
I've never really
That explains
liked to hang around horses.
everything.
Horses are, from a person that's from a town that's known for horses, I can't stand them. Like, they're pretty from far away or whatever. I like to watch them run around a track.
They're dicks.
They're not like, there's something about horse people,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
Like horse people or
There's
like
a
a horse
stereotype.
girl?
There's
like,
a stereotype.
well, we were talking about this last weekend. Horse girl is very strange.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get people that are into like equestrian stuff, like dressage. There's money in it, like horse breeding and things like that. But like the ones that are like making braids and just like, I just visit my horse.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I
like,
have a pony.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I have a pony at a shed somewhere, not shed, but like a stable somewhere. I don't even really ride it. I just go visit it and pet it. Like emotional support horse people.
I could learn things quick. I could be like a blacksmith, I guess, like an apprentice though. I wouldn't be like obviously the head guy. I'd be just an apprentice for 20 years.
You'd easily be the most educated person. Although, I guess you're not really educated in
doesn't
anything
really
useful.
translate. No.
I kind of just have this mental image.
Well,
of
you
Dan.
can read, and if Latin is the main source of writing, I feel like you could figure out Latin pretty quick.
I could probably be a jester of some sort.
Yeah, that's
a
a good point.
king.
There would be a language barrier for him, but I mean,
There's a language barrier between the Vikings and the barbarians and the Romans anyway, so
yeah,
they figure it out pretty quick. And he already speaks.
some amalgamation of a bunch of those languages.
Yeah.
You could probably like,
So you'd have to like just reverse engineer it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it would be that hard, especially with Latin. I can tell you that I faked most of my way through French because French, it like just has a bunch of words that are like their normal words or like the fancy English word for it. Do you know what I mean? But like
Oh, yeah.
spelled a little stupid.
I'm blind
So-
as shit, so you gotta wear contacts. There's no contacts.
How do you think your Crohn's will hold up?
I don't think I have Crohn's back then.
no,
I
probably
think
not.
it's probably a product of modern.
No, we're putting you in a time machine and sending you back.
we're sending him back.
Yeah, it's your body.
Oh no, I haven't been on medicine for Crohn's for years.
Okay.
I figured that out.
Yeah, I guess you probably won't run into much cheese.
I don't really do cheese. I have a pretty good diet. Otherwise, I eat pretty much just animals, rice,
Vegetables.
vegetables.
You mean
Yeah.
a lot of beans in this time period?
Don't eat beans. Hate beans.
Yeah, this is a bean. This is a bean
It's
diet.
definitely a bean time.
Well,
Lot of
I'll
lentils.
I guess I'm gonna get very skinny.
Yeah, you're gonna be a bean boy.
So the weight advantage I had against these like barbarian.
You're gonna have it
motherfuckers,
early, but you're not gonna keep it. Is what you're saying?
I'm gonna cut hard.
You gotta, I think you gotta just like show up, show out, just kill a bunch of people right off the bat. You know, like biggest guy in the yard kind of thing.
Establish your
Yeah.
dominance, and,
And
then
then
nobody
just start
fucks with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta do that. Anyway, what else happened this year?
So, like I said, this is the worst year to ever live, but I kind of like to extrapolate it out because people really bitch about the last 4 to 5 years, right? 2016 to 2021 and ongoing. Because obviously COVID this year, fucking a lot of it is really just Trump. People getting, but then you have on the other side, you have like all this like insane PC social media shit.
Sure, like, there's definitely large cultural divides happening.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, there
It's
always
very
have been.
culturally tense.
Yeah, it's definitely, and it's not on like any line of like. I mean, obviously, race is a line of it, but it's just a lot of like ideological divide.
Yeah. Ton of that shit. So, 536 ends. Of course, the fog doesn't, because that goes for 18 months. The temperatures stay down for the whole fucking decade.
That's nuts.
So the famine continues
okay.
year after year after year.
So from like 536 to 540.
Yeah. So it continues up to 541. It doesn't stop at 541, but it continues at 541. And then something really fucking cool happens in 541.
What?
It's called the Plague of Justinian.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Like, where's that rank on the plagues, though?
Yeah, which plague is this? That's not like the bubonic
It
plague.
is the bubonic plague. It's the first time that we know for sure the bubonic plague showed up.
Damn.
It kills up to 50% of the Eastern Roman Empire's population.
50?
50.
What?
Between 33 and 50% of the Eastern Roman Empire's population.
How'd that help them with the barbarians?
Not a lot.
Seems like a low number if you ask me. Only 50%.
They, in constant...
I don't think that's worth shutting down the economy for only 50%.
There it is.
Well, their economy did get shut the fuck down by this plague. They lost so many people that, like, it just fucking stopped. Like, people didn't go anywhere, stayed inside. There were so many dead people that...
Bring out your dead.
At one point...
It created new jobs, though.
A couple.
Death cards.
Yeah.
Death cab for cutie.
In Constantinople alone, which was the biggest, most important city in the world at this time, 230,000 people died when they stopped counting how many people.
There's
Well, the counter
It's
died.
a fuck ton.
The guy that was in charge of counting.
Yeah.
The guy that could count that high died?
Yes,
Yeah, he's
literally.
Like, we don't know what numbers come after this, guys. Oh, my God. No, that's...
No backup plan.
So 50%. Imagine that, like, every other person you know died from it.
Yeah.
That's
every
insane. I can't even comprehend that. Like,
other person. It started in Egypt. I forget the name of the city, but once it spread to it started in a port city in Egypt, got to Alexandria, and then just boom, just fucked everything up. This was pretty much a body blow for the Eastern Roman Empire and really all of Europe. It took 100 years to get back to pre-536 levels of economic productivity.
jeez.
100 years.
Can you imagine if, like, after this, we get these vaccines and stuff, it's like, it's going to be 100 years from now
Yeah.
where things get back to normal?
Well, so people had been starving to death for 5 years, and then they get hit with an untreatable plague. Just Emperor Justinian, who's largely considered maybe the best Eastern Roman Empire emperor, top 5 for sure. He got it, but he got over it.
Oh, man.
He survived it.
That's a big flex for a leader at that time, too.
And again, even through all this, all the wars are still happening. They didn't stop.
Yeah.
All these fucking wars to reconquer the Western Roman Empire because Justinian wanted to just get the whole empire back.
Oh, reunify everything.
Yeah,
Running it back.
Get the fucking band back together.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, though, too. Everyone's probably looking at this. There's two kinds of people where it's like, we got to, like, batten down, whatever. What is the term I'm looking for?
Batten down the hatches.
Batten down the
Batten down the
hatches.
hatches.
Yeah, and like,
Why are you asking me?
I don't. That's a great question. That's a good one.
You're a boat guy, right?
Yeah. I like
They
the cut of
say
your
the
jib.
Yeah.
2 best days of owning a boat.
When you
What
buy
are
it,
they? When you sell it. Oh,
Dude,
anyway.
You never say the point.
So some people are like, okay, we got to defend, but you got to think everyone's looking at this as like, okay, we can get an advantage if we strike during all this weird stuff.
Yeah, you would think so. So I mean, like the Eastern Roman Empire this whole time is fighting a war on like 5 fucking fronts: North Africa, Sicily, multiple places in Italy, and they're always kind of fucking with the Persians.
Right.
Right. So they were at peace with the Persians, right? But that does change pretty soon. Belisarius, who is Justinian's best general, Belisarius is literally one of the best generals in the history of humanity. This guy was the one who basically reconquered most of the Roman Empire.
Damn.
So he's the one that he's like literally ferrying between Sicily, Italy, North Africa, just beating people left and right. Reconquers Rome, reconquers all of Italy, all kinds of shit like that, right? So as the bubonic plague is killing just everyone imaginable, there's still they're still fighting all these wars and all this fun shit. And how long has COVID lasted? Like a year and a couple days at this point,
invisible
officially.
enemy.
Well,
Or I guess it started in November technically.
Yeah,
November
but
2019.
to us in America,
it was like March.
it was March 11th,
Okay.
2020. That's when Rudy Gobert started to touch all the mics and gave his,
So
his Jazz teammates COVID. Also, I think Tom Hanks got COVID.
Yeah, around
March
that.
11th.
So 1 year and 11 days is what we're at.
Yeah.
This one lasted 200 years.
Why is that so-
Oh man, is this what we have to put up with now? 200 more years, huh? Oh, 199. That's,
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, think
Let's
on
be
the brighter
optimistic,
side.
yeah.
Yeah.
The glass is 1/200th full.
Well, I mean, shit. Like the one thing.
With modern medicine, I should be able to live to see the end of this.
Yeah. Here's some other fun things that happened in this time period. King Arthur killed in combat.
Oh, word.
Yeah, King Arthur killed in combat in a sort of English, pre-English Civil War type
I never
thing.
touched that, dude.
What?
King Arthur.
Yeah,
in the-
but like
they never really cover him getting murked.
Yeah, killed mortally wounded in battle. I don't think he died on the field.
wasn't King Arthur like really big?
Like a bitch.
Yeah, got cut.
Was he like really tall though?
I don't know. I just saw that.
For an
gonna-
Englishman, probably he was
I'm
like
gonna
5'8".
Completely honest with you, I wasn't 100% sure King Arthur was a real.
I didn't think he was a real person.
I
either.
thought he was a mythical
I
person.
thought. Did he actually pull the sword out of the stone?
Yeah, and then someone put it in him.
Is it really short?
Yeah,
Into his stone.
yeah. Sure.
your head,
His stomach.
right?
Probably
No,
had some.
balls.
Probably had some kidney stones back in those days. Yeah, King Arthur. So the world loses their biggest celebrity, maybe one of them. Just a really everyone in that. That was the funniest part about
Was King Arthur more of a Kardashian than an actual king?
No, he did work.
Okay.
If you're getting stabbed on the field of battle, that means you're on the field of battle.
You're probably a pretty well liked king.
Yeah, he does work. But, people in 2016, 2017 especially were like, oh, this celebrity died too. This is the worst year. It'd be like an old celebrity.
But King
You know,
Arthur died. Fuck,
Fuck,
man.
man. Could 536 get any worse? I think he was like 538, but whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucking year can't get any worse. The fog won't go away. King Arthur got
died.
killed. I can't, there's no bread.
I never get to see the sun.
Yeah, the sun's just not fucking here. In this war.
I mean, you got to think the sun not being around would be like if our internet went out.
The power grid's down.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of akin to our stupid snowstorm,
Yep.
but lasting for 18 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember
Oh,
when you guys
man.
bitched so hard on an episode of our podcast about how you were inconvenienced for 6 days?
Oh,
About
I'm
not
sorry
having
we
water?
didn't live your barbarian lifestyle. You were a nomad.
You
was.
definitely were.
Yeah. Did you
lived-
kill any homeless people with a sword? Did you stab anyone?
Not gonna touch that because
That's fair.
I could still be convicted for
Yep.
that.
Yeah, that's fair. The statute of limitations hasn't
It's
passed.
not passed yet.
No. For a homeless person, it is only a month, though.
It's 5 years, but
Yeah,
You've
for-
really deep dove into that, huh?
Yeah. He had to take a look.
I really hate the homeless.
Well,
It's okay.
sure, why
You're
not?
doing a great job of not incriminating
in
yourself.
this
Congrats.
war with the Eastern Roman Empire, here's another fun thing: the Goths and Vandals captured or recaptured, I guess, Mediolanum, which is modern day Milan. Yeah, recaptured it from
The fuck is the University of Idaho doing?
yeah, right. They recaptured it from the Eastern Roman Empire, and I'm not done. They did let the 1,000 Eastern Roman Empire soldiers who were defending it, they let them go. They were like, okay, you surrendered. We will let your garrison go free. They did then murder 300,000 people who were living there, though.
Huh.
Which seemed odd.
It's a weird way around.
It's a high number.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of murder.
That's my entire hometown.
It's
The metro.
about a third of Austin.
Yeah.
Proper anyway. I don't really know why they did it, especially since they let the soldiers leave.
Oh, those are the guys that gave us those cool farms we
Yeah.
got to run around on.
But in their defense, everyone was starving already.
Oh, yeah.
So
Mercy
they were
kill.
pretty
Yeah.
much dead anyway,
Yeah, it was a
right?
mercy kill.
Fuck it. What do we need? Those are mouths to feed that they don't want to feed. They wanted the buildings. They don't want the people.
They want the store. They want the goods that are there.
Yeah.
Not the people.
Not so much the people. So Milan just really getting shit on in this time period. So I said also that was obviously in the Eastern Roman Empire's massive war that they're fighting on fucking 5 fronts, whatever. That all goes down there. Then the Visigoths or Ostrogoths, I can't remember which one. There's 2 different types of Goths.
What's the
by way.
difference?
Right,
What's the difference between
I fucking know.
Okay.
They go to the Persians and are like, hey, man, the Byzantines, the Eastern Roman Empire, they're kicking the shit out of us. If they kick the shit out of us much more, they're going to be too strong for you to ever touch, and they're going to come after you because they don't fucking like you. And the Persians were like, oh, shit, you're probably right.
Yeah, keep the attention spread out.
So then the Persians declared war on the Eastern Roman Empire. So another war broke out.
Nice.
This war lasted basically until right before the rise of Islam, on
so
and
like
off.
600?
650, 700. So
Damn,
like
I thought it was like,
170
damn, it was
years.
that late. Wow.
They fought basically several wars on and off overnight. The last one they fought was 30 years long. Now, this is in the 600s. The last one they fought was like 30 years long. So essentially, this begins so the Eastern Roman Empire has lost 50% of their population, basically. And then they start a series of wars with the Persians that bankrupts them over the course of the next 100 or so years. And now they are completely vulnerable. This is the reason the Justinian's plague and the wars with the Persians are essentially the reason that Islam exists on the scale it does. Because the 2 largest empires equipped to fight the Bedouins, the Arabs, anyone coming out of the Arabian Peninsula have just spent the last 150 years murdering each other, bankrupting each other, and getting killed by the bubonic plague.
Okay, so that actually makes sense then. That gives room for like a caliphate to just be like, okay, here we are. Like,
The Cali cartel just rolling in.
One historian, this doesn't have much to do with this because it's not 5 that we're talking about like 100 years in the future now, but one historian called the Islamic, like the first like Islamic invasions, basically like a human tsunami that neither the Eastern Roman Empire or the Sassanid Persians were prepared for at fucking all.
How do you not see that coming?
No one could see that coming. It came out of nowhere.
It was foggy.
Yeah.
It was foggy.
It was really foggy. It was really foggy, guys. We couldn't see him.
Yeah, so Belisarius, the great general, is then called to fight the Persians, taken off of his Mediterranean duty, goes to fight the Persians. I think loses a battle early on. So the Persians, they start invading the Eastern Roman Empire while their forces are kind of fucking around the Mediterranean. They capture Antioch, ransack the shit out of that. Antioch's one of the biggest cities. Antioch would be like if someone, I don't know, captured like Houston and just ransacked the shit out of it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Please.
Well,
Do
I
us
don't
a favor.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And it's also Antioch's like a huge Christian city, like in terms of just like importance and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So the Persians get in on that shit, and then so Belisarius comes in, kind of loses a battle to them, and then is just like, fuck it, I'm taking this to the people, and starts ravaging the countryside of Mesopotamia.
Damn. So he's just like, fuck it, we gotta win something.
Yeah,
gotta get a
exactly.
W in here.
Gotta get
Slump buster, you know?
And that is the story of 536 to 541. So
Damn.
maybe quit your bitching about social media and COVID. I mean, look, you don't need to not bitch about it, but things can be a lot worse.
Yeah, they can. I'm really interested in the fact that now I'm going to start reading up on Goths, honestly, because I just want to know what their deal was.
Ostrogoths, Visigoths.
Like their roots.
Yeah, how did that get linked to a bunch of like just emaciated high school kids?
Emaciated high school kids who like love cigarettes and shit. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
That's
why,
it. They love cigs.
Yeah.
They wore makeup. I don't know.
Were they just into black too? I'm not sure.
Because these Goths were not really, they were like wild men type of thing.
Yeah, they were barbarians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's their deal? Yeah. I want to know what like cool Goths did, not like, oh man, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds is the best.
Cool Goths didn't even have a cool reason. It was basically like Asiatic steppe people, like the Huns and stuff, started kicking the shit out of them. And they're like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And so they just basically had to run into the Roman Empire. And the Romans at this point had just been rotting from the inside out.
Oh.
And couldn't handle like just the that human tsunami, I guess you could say.
Sure.
And so they started paying them off and blah, blah, blah. And eventually they kind of like merged cultures a little bit. Like it really wasn't, the Romans tried to act like they were converting the Goths, but really it was pretty 50-50.
It's
and
like this works.
Yeah. The Goths were, I mean, they were just kind of like typical barbarians, I feel like. From what I've read about them so far, they weren't anything crazy. But yeah, this 536 to 541 stuff, then the Goths were still hitting the Eastern Roman Empire, like in the Balkans, in Italy, in North Africa. The Vandals were North Africa. They had cool names, though. Goths, Vandals.
Vandals, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's weird when you hear stuff like that, and you're just like, oh, that meant something completely different.
Well, I think vandalize comes from the Vandals.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, we still use that term. They had to have been important if it's still in our lexicon, right?
Yeah. But so, yeah, people didn't get sunlight for a year and a half, didn't get food for 5 years, and then at the end of those 5 years, the bubonic plague
Seems
Then
like
they
you
got
need
sick.
food.
kicked him in the dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as soon as the food came back and trading
No, the
started-
food didn't come back.
Oh,
the
just
food wasn't back yet. They were still starving.
Oh, my God.
And then the bubonic plague hit. Oh, yeah, and there's, I got to look this up.
So it'd be like if
The Western and Eastern Chinese Empire also got in a huge fucking war with each other. We're talking like hundreds of thousands of soldiers in battles and all that. Like,
You've already mentioned several wars.
how are
so
people
it's-
not throwing up blood constantly?
right.
Like, I'd be like, oh, we're fighting again today? Like, this is it again?
On
We-
what energy?
Yeah.
We shouldn't be here.
We have no food. We're sick.
Yeah. All I am
I'm
is
just gonna
also-
cough on you. I don't even need my sword.
Yeah.
Well, a couple hundred years later, that's what the Mongolians would do. They would just fucking catapult bodies with the bubonic plague into cities.
That's fucking. I'm still a big fan of bio warfare.
Yeah.
Like old school bio warfare. Like
Yeah.
we were talking about William Walker, where he just like dropped the dead in the wells in the Mexican cities.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Destroy their water supply. Yeah.
One day in the future, I will do the Mongolian sack of Baghdad,
Oh,
which
God.
historians call, like, it was so bad it was the equivalent to nuking the city.
Yeah.
It was like a medieval nuke,
It's
essentially.
but it pretty much not only stopped but reversed the renaissance of like that region.
Yeah.
Because it was like a scientifically developing area, and
Yeah.
then I remember.
But you know what? They deserved it. And let me tell you why. Because they were like, fuck this. We're not paying the Mongols anymore. And it's like at the height of Mongolian power.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
we
what
can
I
take
meant.
these bitches. Fuck these fucking Mongolians. And the Mongolians were like, yeah, this is going to be fun.
It's like, hey, you know how your streets are streets?
Yeah.
You won't see them because your blood will be pouring down them. Like there are quotes about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
They are
just
now
like-
rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like the streets ran with blood.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But yeah, that's the bio warfare. Mongolians were pretty into that. They didn't give a fuck.
No,
They didn't give a fuck.
I'm
But
gonna read
before
about
the
that too.
Mongolians, there were the Huns. Just the Asiatic steppe was really just power fucking half the world for, I would call it from like what, 380 to 1280,
My thing is like, how did anyone even?
13,
How did
14.
anyone document this?
Yeah, how did anyone get anywhere long enough to not be murdered? Like, why? How is there a record of anything?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's really, I mean, no one knows where Genghis Khan is buried.
He never died.
He never died. Yeah. Well, he does have more descendants than.
He's in Argentina, probably.
Yeah, him,
where you-
Hitler.
that's where you go.
Biggie, Tupac.
What if Hitler just showed up and Genghis Khan was like, "Welcome to the club.
Yep, you did it.
Yay, you're in Argentina."
Dark Side of the Moon.
But yeah, man, that is the worst year and then years to live. Just
To
a
follow.
real 5-year
It's the spark plug.
fuck fest.
Sounds like a good time, really.
What'd you learn today, Dan?
I learned a lot, actually. I learned everything because I don't really know much about this time in history between, like, I don't know, 0 to 1,000.
Yeah.
I honestly, I know nothing about the first 1,000 years of after.
Anno Domini?
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. So, in human history, because I feel like not a lot's recorded.
I think the reason I got this current book I have is called Empires of Faith. The reason I was so excited to read it is because I actually think that the best historical comp for the United States right now is the Eastern Roman Empire. I think that we compare ourselves to Rome constantly,
Sure.
right? The Roman Empire, which is essentially the Western Roman Empire. But I think the best comp is the Eastern Roman Empire after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, which is like 476 to, and this is their height, like 536, 541. That is the height of their power, height of their territorial claims, whatever, all that shit. They have their best emperor, arguably in Justinian, easily their best general in Belisarius. They're as rich as they'll ever be. They are, again, have the most territory they'll ever have. And they kind of seemed like an inevitability, right? Like, of course they're going to be powerful forever. They're the Roman Empire. This is the part of the Roman Empire that still works. This is the part of the Roman Empire that is powerful, and like, you can't beat Rome. Yeah, they just shifted over.
These are the cockroaches that survived.
Kind of. I mean, but so it's the compliment to America is we are the Eastern Roman Empire to, I guess, the UK and Western Europe, essentially. We are the new, like, and you know, growing up from the World War II on, especially, we seemed pretty inevitable, and that was kind of the way the Eastern Empire was from, call it Constantine the First, maybe 343. I forget what he's like, 370 or something like that. From 370 to I don't know, 60 to 570, 200 years, had a nice fucking run, and what they got fucked by was a bunch of shit that came out of nowhere. Really.
So, like, weather conditions and plagues?
Weather conditions, plagues, and a religion springing up out of nowhere.
What's the new one?
What's the new religion?
What, can I start it?
The hordes of Scientologists are coming for it. Yeah.
Q. Yeah.
Oh, man, that could work.
Yeah. And then also they fought wars for 100 years because they just were like, yeah, fuck it, we'll fight these wars. It was a kind of hubris on that end.
Yeah,
But
that'd be like,
the Persians are our enemies. Fuck it, we'll fight the Persians.
The Middle East.
Literally, kind of.
well,
yeah.
I mean, but so say we just started a land war with Canada.
Well,
win.
yeah, but we don't fight neighbors anymore. You had to fight neighbors then.
Yeah.
I think
The Byzantines can't fight the Chinese.
I think we need to keep Trudeau on his feet. You know, we need to keep him on his toes.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah,
He's
we're
kind
taking,
of getting power hungry, and I
we're
don't
taking
like it.
BC.
The next time a blackface photo surfaces, we are bombing
We gotta
Toronto.
bomb Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I miss, what was his name? Not Tom Ford. Tom Alford or
Oh,
what
yeah,
was
yeah,
the
The
name?
mayor of Toronto.
Yeah. God, what was that guy's name? The guy that
It's Ford, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Rob Ford.
Rob Ford. Yeah,
Rob
Tom
Ford.
Ford's
R.I.P.
the designer. Yeah.
Jake, what'd you learn today?
Oh man, I would have definitely taken my own life during this period, probably. That sounded like the most bleak existence I could have ever imagined. That kind of sounded like if we had started COVID with the snowpocalypse and then just rolled into an increasingly worse.
Yeah. The weather stayed shitty.
Yeah.
You know what probably didn't exist back then though? Anxiety, because you know what you didn't have time for?
Worrying.
Yeah.
Thinking about yourself.
Thinking
Yeah.
about yourself.
Yeah.
No, it's just like, don't die. Well, no, that anxiety was the only.
It was the only feeling.
Yeah, that was the
It
only
was like
feeling.
you're in a constant state of anxiety.
But if you're in a constant state of anxiety,
Then
do
no
you also
one's-
never have
You're
anxiety?
not, you're not aware of it, so you
Right.
don't know. Like,
yeah.
If you have more than one quarterback, do you have any quarterback?
no, zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zero quarterback. So, yeah, no, that's actually a good point, Dan, because, like, at some point, things got peaceful enough for us to be like, oh, God, what is this feeling?
Yeah.
This is nice.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to die. I can eat whatever. And,
Kind of like this feeling of self-importance.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, oh, this is good.
Greater meaning.
Well, do you know why we have anxiety still? It's because it's evolutionarily useful.
Yeah, it keeps
Don't
us
get
from,
complacent.
yeah, don't die.
Yeah.
If you let your guard down, you're going to die.
Yeah.
But we
There's-
don't have to fight off people from like other tribes.
Yeah, you don't have some bearded maniac showing up to your house
With an axe.
Yeah.
Actually, I did have a kid show up to my house and try to break down
Oh
the
yeah,
fence.
tell us.
Yeah.
This is a good story, real quick.
Some kid, Dan, I told Rob this. On Saturday, I'm washing my dishes, like looking at the street, and I see this.
Cuck.
Yeah, right, because I was doing my dishes instead of my wife. Glad I saw this, and I'm like, this probably would have scared my wife.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. But there's this shirtless guy walking down the street just screaming and swearing. And yeah, I'm like, I'm going to keep an eye on him because he's walking towards my house, and he's going to beat up my fence. In my head, I was like, he's going to hurt my
He's gonna
fence.
hurt
He
my
looks like a
fence.
drugged out guy too, right? Like he's like,
He's like red in the face, screaming.
yeah,
And
which
sure,
you do not look at and think sober.
yeah, I thought like something was up, and
Oh, you never fought a guy on bath salts? That's cool.
not in Florida, it turns out. No. So sure enough, he gets to about the corner where my fence is, rips a post off, like a plank off my fence, and he starts like punching another one. And I'm like, I go outside, I'm like, hey man, what the fuck? That's my fence. And he's just like yelling like, shut up. I'm like, what? It's like he starts running away. I'm like, shut up. And I'm like, get back here. Like I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Give
you
me
piece-
my fence.
It's like, you piece of shit. Why'd you do that? And So yeah, like, but something in my head was like, he's gonna fuck with my fence. That's anxiety,
and it happened.
and it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's self-fulfilling
I
prophecy.
did chase him down on my car.
Jake chased this guy down.
He's
He's still in the hospital.
No, I
You
didn't.
ran him over, yeah.
I ran up on the kid. I was gonna be a dick to him, but then it turned out he was like 17, 16 probably. I was like, what happened? Like, why are you this angry? He's like, leave me alone. I'm like, what is going on, dude? He's like, my girlfriend broke up with me. I'm like, okay. Fucking kids, man.
Yeah, it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
You should have thrown that kid through your fence.
well, wasn't he like, I'll fix it for you? I swear.
It's like, I don't just go home.
Yeah,
You're going to get arrested.
Just get the fuck out of here.
It's like literally half my neighborhood standing outside looking for you right now.
Yeah, he wasn't quiet.
Yeah, no, everyone heard you. So you're really bad at crime.
Yeah. But I think that's it for this week.
Yeah.
I think that's all we got. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't left a review, give us a 5-star rating and leave that fucking review, like a written review as well. That helps us bump up the charts. Listens mean nothing. Like actual number of listens means nothing on that. You have to leave us.
Well, it does mean we appreciate your listen.
No.
Also-
Yes.
And it means a lot in like the long run with monetization of this actual podcast.
Yes.
So don't be selfish. Please share the podcast.
Yes. Send
Share
it
it
to
with
your
your
friends, all that fun shit. And just remember that 536 was much worse than 2020.
Because right now this podcast is being brought to you by 4 dudes. The 3 hosts right here and Coop on the board right
Thanks,
now.
Coop.
So,
Coop, there it is.
shouts to Coop.
Yeah.
Major shouts to Coop. Check out his podcast, Iconoblast.
Yes, there are 2 podcasts on the Drinking Bros History channel.
So this video will go up on that channel as well. Yeah, that'll be up in the next few days.
Yeah.
But yeah, podcast will be out tonight. And yeah, you just got soft served.
See you.